welcome our special guest, Tony Leary, who is our local Google local expert. In other words, I say our local because he lives in the area, and we've met and talked numerous times. And we just really want to talk about. We always talk about marketing, and Tony brought it up to me, and we conversed on how important Google local is. So Tony, I just want to bring Tony on so he can talk about Google local a little, and I'll throw in some stuff. And basically, you're here in the Clearwater area where we are, but that doesn't mean you can't help anybody anywhere in the United States, right?
Correct. Yeah, it's anywhere nationwide. It's pretty much processes are all the same.
Yeah. So how did you get into searching out and becoming that Google local guy?
Well, a couple years ago, I had a friend who was my barber. And he was my barber first, ended up being my friend, and he got to know me as an IT geek, and he asked me if I could build him a website. Now this was like a really small local barber shop, and so he really didn't have like any kind of internet presence at all, not even a Facebook page or anything like that. So to me at the time, I was like, I don't know what a barber would do with a website other than talk about his staff, I guess, and his prices. And so I was like, let's get your Facebook figured out and the other social media, since you got people sitting here waiting, and it just makes sense that they could tag themselves there and check in, and you know, their friends can see that word of mouth marketing. So after doing some research, I found out that to rank in Google, particularly also in Google Local, the map marker is to have a website was one of the main things. And as I was doing that learning, he ended up paying someone else to make him a website, and could have been something that I just could have whipped up for him one way or another, but that's how I got started, just doing that investigation. And I really enjoy organizing information.
Okay.
And that's what it comes down to ranking in local Google, which has had so many different names, so we may confuse ourselves through this. Google Places, Google Local, and Google Maps.
It keeps changing.
Yeah, for your business to have a pin marker on Google Maps, your business information needs to be organized. So I just kept on digging further into that, and it was all really that interested me the most. So a couple years later.
In reality, it's not that easy, is it, to keep your stuff organized for the novice or the normal guy?
Not at all. Not at all, no. And the reason why is it's literally a spider web, and there are so many different directories out there that their business model is, you know, selling you a location, like, you know, being the new age Yellow Pages.
Right.
So many different, you know, you can just be one guy and purchasing, you know, just having like a couple $1,000s of computer equipment in your closet in your home office, and you can be one of those large directories. So there's been a lot of those, and they push and pull information from each other. So to organize all that, you need to know who's pushing and pulling what, and you know who the reputable sources are for that business information.
So I think what I'm hearing is that Google is the searcher and goes out and finds all this stuff, and in order for you to come up correctly, then all this stuff that Google is searching needs to be the same.
Yes, consistent. Yep.
It needs to be consistent. So if you have a digit off in your address or a number off in your phone number, then it could hurt your local standings.
Yeah, because Google thinks that, you know, it's just a robot crawl. You know, so once it gets those inconsistencies, it just thinks that it's just another business, rather than saying like, oh, here's a mention of business A, and then here's another, and here's another, and here's another, and then when you got a different phone number, then it's like, oh, this is business B, and it doesn't even relate it to business A at all. So then you're losing the value of being more relevant when that information's inconsistent.
So part of that is, I guess I've heard it just recently I heard about, they're called citations.
Correct.
Is that what they are? So tell us what a citation basically is.
It's a mention of your business, either structured or unstructured, but that's a little bit too technical. Citation is technical enough as it is, but whenever you find your business name, address, and phone number. So if you Google your business name and you find, if you have a website, that comes up, and then you've got Yelp and Yellow Pages and Facebook, those are more than likely just a citation of your business information. So somewhere on that web page is probably your business's name, address, and phone number. So those three pieces together are that structured citation.
Okay, so I know that I know for a long time, every time something new come up, I'd put my stuff in it. So if it was Yelp, or it was House, or it was, I'm trying to think of some of the ones that I just have done recently, and there's always somebody new coming up that wants to put your stuff. Yellow Pages, and then there's one. What is it that will actually let you pay them to do them all? And I think, is that worth it, or is it a overpriced? What is the name? I can't remember the name, because Yext. Is it Yext?
Yeah, there's a few, but Yext is the biggest one. They probably market themselves the most as having that service. In the local search community, I'm a local search consultant, so whenever we get into this, like the nitty-gritty, it's local search. Local search community is undecided, I would say, of the value of Yext, of professionals like me, of whether it's good or it's bad. It's usually a case-by-case basis. It depends. But what they do is you go on and you fill out a massive profile, not just your name, address, and phone number, but your hours of operations and your category and the services you provide, and a short and long description, etc. And then it pushes all of that out. Yahoo is a very common one who's in partnership with Yext.
Okay.
So Yahoo Local and all of the different tools that use Yahoo. What was it? One of the third Firefox browser uses Yahoo Search as its default search now. That just changed recently. So it's a big deal.
Okay. I was wondering why that came up the other day.
So if you know that you have never really done any of that yourself, you've never paid another agency to build citations or any kind of SEO like that, then it would be a good thing. Yes, it would be worth the money. If you've been doing this for a while and you've had a couple different SEO agencies or whatever, then you'd be hurting yourself more if you did that, because they don't go out and clean up inconsistencies. They just push out information.
Okay, so someone like yourself who is a consultant on the local, you would basically, in essence, clean up stuff and make sure that all the right stuff was there.
Right. And find the source.
Just dumping stuff in.
Yeah. Most important thing is finding the source of the incorrect information, stopping it at the source, and then, meanwhile, cleaning up the major directories that have the wrong information. Or duplicate.
Right. So, and you said before, it was the spider web, so it could take some time to get that taken care of. I would imagine.
Yes.
Yeah, I would imagine.
Right. So if you just
all of them, don't you?
Because it had like two different databases. They're on a schedule of when they'll push and pull, right? So if Yext sends out its information and then the Yahoo local database updates, on month one, the other directories that feed off of Yahoo don't update 3, so there's that 2-month lapse of that other directory not having your right information. Does that make sense?
Yes,
So
yeah,
it's
it does. So it's not congruent. It's not the same. So it's not going to be helping you to its fullest extent.
right. So if you take like the top 10 or top 50 or citation sources or the directories, depending on your city or what your expertise is, your business line. There's different directories that are, whatever the top 10 or top 50 is. So instead of waiting for those things to change when you use a service like Yext, you have to use that list and update those most important ones that tells Google who you are and where you are.
Right. And because, and I'm just thinking, I'm probably playing the devil's advocate a little here, but because the X is taking the information that you gave them in that profile, if you messed up, then it gets messed up, huh?
Right. Yep.
So as opposed to someone like you who goes out and does it manually, you can at least double check and triple check to make sure that all the information that I gave you is really correct.
Right.
To start off.
On the point with that is most important thing is your category, right? So a lot of times categories are really they're sensitive. I would say when it how it's going to influence your rankings. For instance, I was just talking to a guy about it today, he has a dumpster rental service, and just to clarify. When I say categories, it's just like if you flipped open the old Yellow Pages, it's the sections that it's broken into.
Okay.
He doesn't. Google Local operates that way. They have categories and all of the other directories, but they don't all use the same ones, obviously, and Google doesn't have a category for everything. So someone like he rents out dumpsters. And not even the big ones either, just the small trailer ones or ones on axles. And the categories for him are garbage collection service or garbage dump service. And to him, it's like, well, that doesn't really make sense. And so he starts looking for other ones and just start like picking and pulling as many things as possible.
Right.
But someone like a consultant would know, why that makes the most sense to choose which one, and doing a competitor analysis to find out who's ranking in the top, and then what categories are they using. And so it's finding all of those little things is on that point of, if you do all of this yourself, you start adding more inconsistencies yourself if you don't know what to look for.
Well, yeah, because I know that when I started doing stuff as a roof cleaning, there were no categories for roof cleaning. So
right.
you want to go, okay, I just want to put that sucker in there, and you can't, So you got to go to find out what everyone else is, mostly pressure cleaning or pressure washing and stuff like that. And even though it's not, it brings them there, and then you can educate them otherwise, by your other keywords, I guess. But yeah, because you can really mess up if you decided to go into dumpster, because he's not really a dumpster. It's kind of weird, yeah. Mess yourself up. So
yeah.
the do-it-yourselfer messes it up, and you got to take care of it, right?
Yeah.
So get it to you first before I mess it up. It's like someone called me, oh, I painted my house. Can you come and fix it? And you go, yeah, right.
Exactly. Yeah, you're right. I'm looking right now. There's nothing for roof cleaning.
No, that's okay. But they find it. So, okay, here's one of the things that we talked a little bit about before, and this is kind of interesting. I thought I did an interview with a company, the Street Bidder, and they do postcards, private postcards, and stuff like that. And you can take pictures, and The guy found out that over 50% of the contractors that subscribe to his service don't have a website. Now, to me, that is kind of crazy because, if anything, I would want a website just for confirmation that I was in business, I would think.
Right. Yeah.
So even the simplest, and I know that you do websites too, so, and I know there's guys that do the, do you think right now in today's market that WordPress is probably the best website to go with? I'm just asking, I don't know. Tony.
You kind of broke up.
Yeah, I know. Oh, okay, let's go back. The do you think that I lost my thought there.
If WordPress is the best,
Is WordPress probably one of the better ones right now because everything pretty much interacts with WordPress the easiest?
yes, I would say if if an agency is building your website for you, or if they're not doing it on WordPress, then stop and start getting some quotes from some other agencies. And then I bet you if you get 5 quotes, 4 of them are going to be on WordPress, and that's for good reason. And the primary reason is Google likes fresh content, and WordPress is now, I won't get into too technical terms, but it's easy to put new stuff on it.
Okay, no, that's great because I know there's a lot of guys that put up that one-page flyer from some of the hosts because they get a free website and it really doesn't do anything for their business as far as it's just there. So it's a go-to. It's not a find it. True?
Right, right. Because it doesn't have some basic coding in it that makes it easy for search engines to identify what it is.
Okay.
Right. So a website is just a series of documents, just like a piece of paper, right? So if you don't have like a header, think of like a letter, an official letter. If it doesn't have the the from section up at the top and everything, and you lose all of those crucial little details when you just have like a simple one-page website that was just like you're saying. But WordPress it automatically builds a series of pages. It's not just a website, it's a database of web pages, and it's all coded to make things easy to find.
So let's go back to the local for a minute, and what's the best way for a contractor to get on the local? And I know that you on your website you have a newsletter that people can subscribe to, and you send out free SEO information, which is great. But I'm not one of those guys that likes to do any more than I have to. Only because it drives me nuts to think about learning new stuff that I don't really want to learn about. With the Google Local, and so let's say that someone hires you to get their Google Local up, and you get everything situated so that it's doing what it's supposed to do. I guess that's the only way I can, is lets people know that you're in a certain spot, that you're open for a certain amount of time. In conjunction with that, and I'm going to throw this in there because I know how important is, in conjunction to tie into your Google logo, as your Google Plus and your reviews from Google Plus.
How important are Google reviews and all of that?
Yeah, to tie into your Google local.
Well, easy answer is very important.
Well, because I'm trying to make a point here that it's okay to have all this stuff and do it, but there's also other things to add to it to make sure that, because I know everyone's going, okay, now it's the Facebook thing, and I want likes and I want people, and that's great. But for all the business that I've gotten from the internet, and it's really not a whole lot in conjunction to the way I get other business, but I do get some, and every time I get the business, it's because I'm on Google Local, and I'm situated, and a lot of times I come up 3 times within those 6 spots because of different things. But everyone always says, I called you because I liked your reviews. So that's probably one of the key factors in with Google Local, I would say.
I
I
don't
mean, it
remember.
has been for me.
There's lots of documented statistics and from multiple different sources that it's at least over 70%. I don't remember the number exactly. I know Google did a recent one, and it's so let's say 77% of people trust online reviews, even if it's from people they don't even know.
Right.
Before I even got into this, even me myself, like if there's something like I shop a lot on Amazon, but I won't buy like if it's a product that there's a lot of choices, a lot of different brands or
Yeah.
types or whatever, I'll sort the search by 4 stars and up, and then just ignore the rest,
Okay.
and only look only look at my options that have been rated collectively 4 stars or higher.
Well, no, that makes sense. But I just had a talk with, matter of fact, someone sent me, they just put up their new website. And they go, write us a review so we can put it on our website. And I said, forget that. I've already put you a review on Google Reviews because you can have a gazillion testimonies on your website, but they don't seem to matter as much as the Google review does. It does.
Right.
It's not as much weight because in the back of people's minds, sometimes they say, well, maybe they did it themselves. But when you got 20 or 30 reviews, that's kind of hard, to question. But still, they like clicking that button and going to the Google reviews and saying, oh, they did a great job, we did this or whatever. And like I said, I think that's a key factor.
So a little more detailed answer. When you get 5 reviews or more is the usual number, and for Google reviews, you'll get the gold stars showing up in that little
Right.
block of listings. And then there's just an already like visually appealing way to set yourself apart, because a lot of times the other businesses, and whether it's 3, 5, or 7 different map pin listings right there on the first page, is they won't have that many reviews. Of course, depending on the industry.
Right.
So it's an easy win if you are in that industry where there isn't a lot of people, a lot of business owners aren't active or paying for those services. If you just ask people for reviews, granted, once you have all of your Google listing claimed and optimized and all that first, getting reviews is really going to set yourself apart from the competition. And on your point of testimonials, whatever, on the website, having a few I mean, that's fine. It's kind of just like, simple web psychology.
Sure.
Someone lands there and sees they're like, oh, okay, someone was willing to put their name on this business, so okay. But as far as getting found in the first place, reviews on Google would definitely be the most important, because people are searching Google. So of course Google likes to showcase what its own data before, but Google crawls and indexes reviews from all other directories, and even including Facebook.
Right. I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
Yeah, that was a recent change. So the words that people use in reviews influences your what you show up for. So like if people put in the actual service that you provided for them somewhere in the wording of their review, those are actually being valuable action keywords for your ranking in Google.
So if you wanted to be a really good marketer, you would give your customer a sort of fill in the blank review that they could just say, this is what I'd like for you to do. And because most people don't want to write the reviews anyway. So a lot of times I'll just write stuff up for the ones that don't want to, and I'll send it over and I said, tweak this any way you want. And they'll go, okay, and then they'll send it in off of their email, or put it on, the way they want.
Yeah, sure. You can give them some, some ideas, and people aren't really comfortable at saying whatever. You could just say, be a neighborhood. They were, your most valuable things are going to be your neighborhood and the service that you provided. And I say neighborhood specifically because it's becoming that competitive locally that
Ooh,
Google's using neighborhood terms.
I'm gonna take notes on that one. I never thought about the neighborhood.
And
In service.
yeah, neighborhood service provided.
So so that goes back to the keyword thing, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And even if someone leaves a review and doesn't put those things in there, you can put that in your reply to the customer's review as a business owner.
I didn't know. See, this is how much I just noticed. I didn't know I could reply.
Yes, and replying is really important because it shows activity, and that gets back to all Google wants to do in all of this. The whole reason for this whole conversation that we're having here is Google just wants to provide people with reliable, relevant information. So if you're a business owner getting a review and you're replying, then obviously you're a relevant business, and that helps your ranking.
Makes sense. I didn't know that. I knew that I could reply in other outlets that, like, I can't even think of the name of it right now.
Yeah, Yelp and all of those.
Yeah, but I didn't know that you could reply. All right, see, I got to be more geeky into it, right? Because it's just not one of those things that I think about.
Well, anything that you here, write this one down. Anything that you do with Google, make sure it's under one Google account, right? So even if you're just doing this alone, you're doing the business on your own, you got a few employees, but you're managing all of this, and then you have your own Google account. And if you go as like if you use Gmail or if you have an Android phone and you're logged in with that Google account, you'll get a notification when a customer leaves a review, as long as that Google My Business, the Google Places listing, is claimed with that Google profile, that Google Gmail address.
Oh, I don't think it is. I think it's to my other server. So I should switch it over to my Gmail, my Elite at Gmail.
I would say yes. A personal preference. Like if you don't want to have those notifications, don't want to have that tied together, but it is the best practice to, your.
Just keep everything Google with Google, basically.
Right. I find a lot of business owners that getting back to have a small website or no website. There's Gmail for their business email. That happens a lot. So if you just use that Gmail to claim or to verify that Google listing, then whenever someone leaves a review on there, and you're looking at your Gmail account, you'll get that notification in the upper right.
Okay.
And then a reply button right there to reply back to them.
You can do it right then and there. Oh, all right. See, I keep learning stuff all the time. I'm gonna have to start paying more attention to this stuff. Yeah, because I'm not. I think it's to my Elite Home and Property Services. But I think I'll switch it over, and it makes sense to keep everything congruent.
The biggest shortfall with Google reviews is it's difficult for people to find it on their own.
I know.
It's not a real loud button of leave a review for us. So
I
often
know.
you got to give instructions.
I know. Well, a lot of times I'll just send a link to the Google the reviews and just say, hey, when you get a chance, could you write us a review? And that seems to work on occasion.
If you
Except
if
it's kind of funny because I have to do it on a page that I'm not logged into because it pulls up my personal account. When you're in Google and you're logged in, so they get my account that you can edit, I guess.
yeah,
Yeah. So I
yeah.
gotta go in. I gotta go into another page and not be logged in
There's
to
a
make sure they get.
one of the really large local search companies that provide tools to the local search community is called WhiteSpark, and they're out of Canada. So their website is whitespark.ca, and they have I think in the tools on their website at the top is a review generator handout. So you sign up on their website for free. You're basically just signing to their email newsletter. They will you give that once you create an account, you put in your business name, address, and phone number, and your Google Plus local page web address
Okay.
URL. Put that in there, and it'll give you a one-page handout to in PDF to put on a nice stock paper or even laminate it, and it gives instructions for people to leave a Google review. So if they're not familiar with how to, it tells them, search for here, or here's the link, and then sign in, and then leave a review.
Cool.
Yeah.
I like making things easy for everybody else and for me.
So
So I guess the Google Local is important, and I think that for a lot of the contractors out there right now who don't or aren't familiar with Google Local, and they're doing a lot of advertising instead of marketing. That's the best way I can put it. Um, that they should probably let the people know in their area who they are, that they're actually a real business with a real website. That and because I know there's nothing more frustrating is trying to find somebody who is, and this really blows me away. They don't have a website, but they're on the yellow pages, they're on Yelp, they're on this, they're on that, but you can't find a web page. And to me, that's just inconsistent.
yeah, yeah. Uh, it's the website. Having a website, back to your earlier point, is
Yeah.
really very important, and for just those two reasons, for the search engines and for the people. And you can go with any price range and you get what you pay for, but even just getting a simple website is worth the money, and just having somewhere to start. And of course, I would recommend WordPress, but if you get a build it yourself website for $10 a month or something, there's some good ones out there, but they're not going to be good to grow for the long term, but it is a short fix if you're tight.
Right.
But I forgot where I was going with that, but yeah, the website's very important. Some other point I thought of, but
Okay,
it'll
so
come
we're
back.
gonna put your information. The name of your company is Cartography Marketing. And I thought
Yes.
that was kind of interesting. I went and looked up what the meaning of cartography was, and it means what's it? Science of drawing maps.
Yeah. So the even reason why I even know that word exists is goes back to my Navy days. I was in navigation, so a lot of my job was just maintaining charts. So anyway, struggled coming up with a name like most people do, and for some reason the word popped into my head, and I was like, well, that's what I do. I help businesses with Google Maps.
Yep.
I make their business show up in maps. So like, oh, and then slap marketing on there, and then there we go. We're
we're in business. We're in good shape. So, so what is an action item that you can leave with us? Just I know that we're going to put your information on our website. We're going to put a link to your website so that they can get your newsletter, which I think is super. Will help them SEO, and if they don't want to do the SEO themselves, then they can contact you, and you can point them in the direction that they need to go or might want to go, and because you do the websites and if you do the Google Maps, the Google Local, which is I think for most guys right now that if they're gonna do a lot of stuff, I think that would be a great place to start. Even though that they're gonna, even I know because I'm thinking like, okay, I'm a contractor and I'm gonna do this stuff, knowing that it's necessary, and I've got to spend money, but why do I need to spend the money? Well, you need to spend the money because this is something that you're going to do hopefully once, and you're going to have it forever. I mean, because you can build a nice, decent, or have someone build you even a nice, decent WordPress site, relatively inexpensive, and you can have it and just keep adding to it as far as your content and the stuff that's important for your business. You can add your videos. So we talked to everybody, about doing little short videos on doing what they're doing, explain stuff to people, frequently asked questions and stuff like that. So WordPress is really the best. So
yeah, Google Tools and WordPress makes that extremely easy. Like us right now, we're on Google Hangouts, putting this on Google's YouTube. So the what I remember the point that slipped my mind back then. You talked about the different parts of marketing and or advertising, and this is just one more. And you've got to measure your channels all the right way. What's providing the best ROI, and they all have their benefits in their own way. What we're talking about here really boils down to is called inbound marketing instead of direct marketing or direct mailers and all that. And it's inbound marketing because people are looking for your service rather than you telling them that your service is available. And just like it's just like the Yellow Pages. It's a new Yellow Pages. So if you're just not on the Yellow Pages, you didn't get phone calls. That's how it was 20, 30 years ago. But it's once you get past word of mouth marketing, SEO or local search marketing is the most. It provides the highest ROI, and there's lots of studies out there. Research is, you can research until your heart's content, but it's all there, and people are actively searching, so you should be found for your primary category, your primary keyword in your city.
Absolutely, and I know that when I do a lot of marketing, I do it in a sense where I drive them to my website, to get free reports and get a recorded message or something like that. So it's becomes my go-to guy that helps me with my business, my website, in the end.
Yeah.
So
to part with, I would say definitely go to google.com/business. That's the direct link to Google's Google My Business dashboard. That Google My Business is the name of their business dashboard, and that's where you would, if you haven't already, or if someone hasn't done it on your behalf, that's where you would find your business listing and claim it either through a phone call or a postcard, and go from there. And you can optimize your business profile, put all your name, address, and phone number in there appropriately, and whether you serve clients, most of the time your contractors, you're a service area business. You don't have customers coming to you unless you have a showroom, and you could depict that right on there. So if you have a home address, I got all these tips at I put a short URL. It's bit.ly, bit.ly / optimize and then dash Google. So bit.ly / optimize Google. And that's just my quick tips that once you verify your listing, it's little pro tips in there of what to put in there. And once you go there, and then my link to my sign up for my newsletters there.
Cool. Well, we'll put your website and I got the bit.ly here, and we'll put that on our website too, so that people can contact you and hopefully get on the right track to making things congruent in Google, so that people find them when they want to find them.
Yeah, please. You find cartography marketing, and you just Google that, and you'll find wherever I am. Twitter, Google Plus, Facebook, whatever one you prefer. And
stuff, huh?
And yeah, I love talking about this. So even if you just have a question, I'm more than happy to just point you in the right direction, tell you what your next is.
That is awesome. Thanks, Tony, for being with us, and we appreciate all your knowledge. And man, I learned a bunch of stuff tonight, so I'm glad we got to talk, because I wouldn't have learned it otherwise.
Yeah, my pleasure.
All right, thanks. We'll talk later.